What's up, guys? Here's my official walkthrough of FC25 career mode. So you go on new career mode, pretty much the same. You can go to create manager and you've got some new choices like that you can make, and you can see the icon above the manager's head. Obviously any manager that you pick, you can also go through, you can do their name, you can choose where they were born. You can go and pick different heads for them. So once you do that, then you can edit anyone you pick. You could go to full head, and then skin tone. You could change the tone of their skin. You could also change their complexion and various settings now. So you could do a lot more. When we go over to head, you can change a lot about their head as well. Their jawline, you can change their ears. You can change, and also if you click like this, you can actually get to select it like how we would in the previous career modes. But a lot of new features added. Also, you can change their eye color as well. You can change how their eyes look. Hair as well is another thing. Hairstyle, you can click, or you can just go for it like this. So that's customizing your manager. And then outfits, you've got some new outfits here and there that they've added in. Polos, you can see here some nice polos. Yeah, but these are all the stuff you can do to edit your manager. If you go to outer top, you've got the usual sweater, jacket, and yeah, pretty much the same. If there are any new ones, I'm not seeing anything right now, but I don't remember. I think, yeah, you did always have the club one. Sweater has always been in there. So not anything new that I've seen at the moment on that, but jeans or trousers, pants, as the Americans say. There we go. So for pants, these are the pants that they've got, and obviously socks, shoes. You've got some flats, and yeah, you've got some runners. Probably some new runners are here, some different runners. I usually pick shoes, or I pick trainers. So yeah, this is something new for me. Facial, obviously glasses as usual, and that's about it for facial, and then nothing else. And that's you customizing your manager. So apart from customize a manager, now we'll go over to the actual real managers. So real managers, you can actually pick Mikel Arteta, Unai Emery, Maresca, Sean Dyche, Arne Slot, Pep Guardiola, Eric Ten Hag, Steve Cooper, Kieran McKenna, Lopetegui, yeah, from West Ham. You can also pick Postecoglou, Russell, Martin, Espirito Santos or Nuno from Nottingham Forest, Eddie Howe, Newcastle, Gary O'Neill, Marco Silva, Oliver Glasner, Fabian, Thomas Frank, Ariolo. Basically, you can pick all the managers from in the Premier League, so the ones that are licensed. And obviously, if you got into other leagues, the only manager that is licensed is Luis Enrique. That is crazy. Yeah. Germany. Wow, one manager is licensed. This must be wrong. What about eFootball might have the rights to a company and stuff like that. What is going on? But there you go. The lower league, they've got some more managers. And when you go to, obviously, India, loads of managers there. The top leagues, you got Antonio Conte is back in the game. Who else is in the game? Cesc Fabregas is in the game now, guys. So you can finally pick Cesc Fabregas and do a story career mode. We've got Thiago Motta as well. Icon. Come on, guys. Zanetti is in the game now. Who else? Serie B. Do we have any managers who were players before here? Inzaghi is right here. So you could play as lots of managers at the moment. Yeah. And let's go over to Portugal. It's decent. Korea, you got a lot of Korean managers as well. So they've added a lot. Men's, again, some more managers. Romania, Saudi Arabia, Scotland, Let's have a look at Spain. Hans Flick is in the game. Diego Simeone, looking realistic as hell. Carlo Ancelotti, Valverde, Pellegrini. Yeah, look at that, man. All the managers are here. Luis Garcia. You've got any other top managers that we may know. Yeah, all of these, they obviously play for, they obviously manage a team, but you get what I'm saying. There we go. Michel is in the game, or Mitchell, however that's pronounced. But Xavi is no longer in the game, which is sad. And we'll look on the lower league if we see any managers that we could go for. No, we don't see any managers. Sweden, no. Switzerland, no. Turkey, we got Jose Mourinho back in the game. And look at the special one, guys. I think I'll definitely be doing a career mode on Fenerbahce with Jose Mourinho. Like, legend, Chelsea legend. Yeah, so Argentina, we've got Argentinian managers. Australia, Austria, Belgium. Let's see if we can see company in here. We don't. Obviously, that's just the league. But Denmark, England, again, we come back around to England. And the women's team, we've got some managers that are in real life. So there you go. Skinner, a female manager. I don't know if she's officially the first female manager added on the game. But there we go. If you want to see some women's football career mode, let me know. And you guys decide what team. I think we'll be giving that a go. But there we go. Rest of the world, we got some more managers as well, yeah? So a lot has been added to this new career mode, which is good to see the career mode improving, guys. All right? So that's one part of the career mode. That's something new. We're just going to go through now and we're going to move into actually starting the career mode. So when you start the career mode now, you've got some game settings that you can do. You can finally adjust your transfers so you can keep it on active, disabled, so you're not allowed to have any in-game transfers during your career. I don't think you can edit it once you disable it either. And once you, obviously people using PC will be able to mod this and disable the first transfer window. So obviously you won't be able to make any transfers until January. Now for only transfers, then basically players can only move permanently. So there we go, a new transfer where they can only move permanently, no loans allowed. Only loans, that means no transfers allowed. Transfer embargo, so you can basically set up a transfer embargo where a team are not allowed to make any signings for 14 seasons is the maximum and 1 is the lowest. Yeah, scouting, now we can turn scouting on or off. And obviously training plans, you can turn them on fixed or always full. So if you don't really like to do training plans, finally you can set your training plan to always full, or you can have it at a fixed rate and now obviously just keep it on. But difficulty, again, we can edit difficulty from here. Financial takeover, we can do from £10 million all the way to £1 billion. So that's something that's somewhere new now rather than where it was before in FC24. Board expectations, you've got strict, harsh. Harsh is probably easier to get sacked and strict is just a little bit lower. You need to meet most objectives to be kept as a manager. So you can actually challenge yourself now. And also you're expected to meet all objectives and maintain a high level of board approval to keep your job. So this one is probably the hardest to get sacked. And then you've got the favorite now, which every fan wanted, which is the no sacking on console. It doesn't matter what you are doing, it would be easy to get sacked in the previous career mode on FC24. So now they finally added the board expectations with no sacking. So you don't even need to mod anymore. So we'll put that on. We'll go over to match. And again, pretty simple from here. You can adjust anything that you want to do with your match settings. So for the youth tournaments, you can actually set from 3 minutes all the way up to 20 minutes. Youth player quality, you can set it to play with the players at their they'll basically perform at their full potential. And if you set it to current overall, they'll perform to their current overall. So if you want to see what your player will feel like when you bring them into the first team, then put it on full potential. And current overall is just for their actual overall. So if they're 50, they will play like 50. Full potential, if they're 94, they'll play as a 94 rated player. Now we'll move on to simulation gameplay. You've got classic, simulation, and custom. Custom allows you to edit anything that you want, basically. But simulation is basically the new one that they're basically saying a slower simulation style experience that is closer to what you'd see in a live football match. And classic is just usual, everything to 50, the high intensity FC experience. So I like simulation right now. For me, I pretty much like it. Training plans, again, you can turn training plans on, you can turn them on fixed, always full, but we'll turn it on. And you've got recovery rates as well. So recovery rates is choose how efficient your training plans are and how quickly your player recover sharpness and energy. Keep in mind that sharpness slowly decays on non-match days. Your players will see the sharpness and energy increase and decrease in a more measured manner. So we got default, we got light. So with light, your players recover sharpness and energy quicker and use them up at a slower rate. With realistic, basically fancy a challenge, that's what it's saying. This setting applies slower recovery and quicker decay to the sharpness and energy of your players. Now, if you want to do a career mode like that, then it's up to you. Training plan availability, you got manual and automated. You can only have automated if you set this one to only automated, only manual. It's up to you if you don't like the automated one. So at the moment, I pretty much like both of them. Play and training drills, if you don't want to do that, you can turn it off. So finally, I personally don't like training drills, and I think it's just a bit boring. Once you do it once or twice, then yeah, but after that, I would turn it off. But there we go. We'll leave it on just for this. Development rate seniors. So how quickly your senior players will develop. Senior players will improve at rate that is 25% slower than the fast development settings. So for me, I don't know who was complaining about development rates, but I like the development rates. If you want to speed them up, you can put it on fast. They will develop at a quicker rate than usual. And obviously, if you put it on slower, then senior players is 50%. Senior players, the development rate for senior players is 50% lower than the fast development setting. So we'll put it on normal. And also development rate for the youth players, the same thing. You can either make it fast so you can develop youth players quicker as well. I like that as well. I wish they added something where, for instance, like a player's potential, that you could actually push them past a certain point as well. Basically, like, let's say Reece James, let's say he has a lower potential now of 88, for instance, and he's 84 rated, that we could actually choose to adjust the setting to push him all the way up to like a 94 or something like that, like we could on previous FIFAs, where you could actually train the player and that would push their potential up. Anyway, we are now on transfer and scouting. In transfer and scouting, we've gone through the same thing with transfers already. We can keep it active. We won't go over transfers again. Negotiations, we can make it default, which they are balanced, or you can make it light. Your offers are more likely to be accepted without pushback. So let's say Haaland is valued at 150 and you offer, like, say 100 million. They won't force you too much to go towards the 150. Instead, your offer, at least as long as it's decent and it's over their value, then they'll be likely to accept it. If it's realistic, tread carefully. Your offers are more likely to be negotiated or rejected out of hand. So it's up to you guys. If you want to say, I want to do a realistic career mode, and then you're trying to sign players and you just can't, then fair enough. Now, transfer approaches, you can actually change your transfer approaches as well. So CPU teams are always willing to negotiate a sale. Everything has a price. You can either have it on loose or you can have it on strict. CPU teams are less willing to engage in a negotiation for the sale of their players. So again, I would keep that on loose. Scouting, you can either keep scouting on or you can turn it off now. Search players, you can turn that off as well, or you can turn it on. Scouting speed star players. So scouting assignments will be completed immediately with full information available as soon as you select a player to be scouted. So no longer do we have to wait a good while for it to happen. And you could also set it to fast or normal, which it will take between 6 and 9 days to compile a report on the players you select. So again, slow will take 50% longer to analyze star players. It's up to you guys, whatever you want. Yeah. Scouting speed general players, we have instant as well, or you have fast. In general, we'll keep it on normal, but for this walkthrough, I'm going to keep it on instant. Now let's go through general settings again. European competitions, let's edit the pots and see what we could do. So we could actually replace a certain team again and change it however we want. We can actually turn off that competition as well, so no European competition. So for instance, if we're doing a career mode with Chelsea, we could say, okay, no European competitions. Yeah, you know how the story goes. Finally as well, we can turn off international job offers. That's another thing. Financial takeover is added in this field, and we can change the currency from sterling to dollars to euros. That's in the game. So let's advance. And now we are actually going into the career mode. You've got a different save screen now. So instead of actually going to save as we used to, where it's just a boring screen, we've actually got a different look to the save screen now, which I really like this. And it makes it look more organized. You can actually see your team. Now we jump into career mode. I'm going to show you guys a few things. You've got the task list right here. So 1, 2, 3. And you get up to 7 tasks, I think, every almost like match day. And as you can see, we can review training plans, we can create tactical preset, we can review board objectives, we can review scouting assignments, our scouts, we can click on it and then we'll be able to see the scouting report. So again, we can see the full level of our players, of the players being scouted. 82 rated because we put it on instant. Now you can see, you can find players like this, a free agent player, Sanchez, and he is 78 rated at the age of 24. Yeah, so Harvey Barnes is rated at 80. Shevchenko is 79 rated. Ndidi 78 rated. So yeah, Antonio 78 rated. So we get their stats immediately. And if we go on review training plans, again, this is the automated plans. So wherever your player, like say that we put this to 60, is active as long as your sharpness is lower. So if your sharpness is lower than 70, it will be activated because it wants to push your sharpness all the way up to 90. So I'm going to put 90 for that one. For all our energy, if your sharpness was ever lower than, let's say 40 or 30%, then we would do that. Energy focused, if you were lower than 50, for instance, then that would kick in. Yeah, and then you could basically confirm that, and those will be all your automated training plans sorted. Now back to normal training plans. This is the quickest way on every career mode to get your players to a maximum sharpness and fitness. What I do is I go to all out performance and I click yes. By the way, setting up manual training plans will override any automated plans. So bear in mind, if you do automated, you are going to have to cancel it and do manual. If you do manual and then you set automated, it does it vice versa. So remember, what I would do is I would just set this manually to all out performance for all of my players in the beginning of preseason. That's going to get them maximum sharpness, and then once they get maximum sharpness, then I'm going to put it on balanced. All of my players on balance. If you got older players, then I would put a bit on energy focus for older players, but balance will work. And everyone on the bench, I would put on all out performance if I'm not going to play them. If I am going to play them, then I would put them on performance focused. Now development plan is much smoother now. You can scroll finally. You know how awkward it was to go from player to player on the squad hub and then click here and there. Look how easy it is now. We can see how long it will take them to develop into a certain player, their development plans. So there we go, 19 weeks, 16, we could just select it just like that. Look how easy that is. Yeah, and we can see how long it takes. We can see their stats. So a lot smoother now, a lot easier to do. For defenders, I tend to always go for, I either go for ball playing or I go for stopper. Defender for Badayashil would be the best one for him though, because it does actually give him a bit of speed. So I would go through defender. But we will have a tutorial on development plans where I go a bit more advanced. But just for the walkthrough, guys, that's what it looks like. Now, Squad Hub is still available. When we go in Squad Hub, we do see the players, and it's a lot easier to just scroll through. Look at that. Look how simple it is. If we wanted, we could recall Kepa. I was about to say Pepper. Now, obviously, you got the stats that we can see the player's stats from here, and we got attributes that we could see their attributes from here as well. And financial, we could see the value. We can see when their contracts are running out, and also you could sort it from the most valuable player on the team or the least valuable player, which Cole Palmer is the most valuable player, and then you got Nkunku. So bear in mind as well, if you are close to here, you won't be able to see the green that well because it does block it. The white does block it at the top. I hope EA fix that, but we'll see how it goes. The team management is a bit different this year as well. So here we go. You're not able to move the player from like the formation for some reason. So you can only use the formation that they've given you. Again, squad, you now see 9 players here as well. So 4, 8, 9, and then obviously you've got the subs. Tactics, we can now go through and we could change the tactical preset what we want. So the style of football, and we could also choose a formation. You can either do this to scroll, or you can view all formations and go through the formations just like this. Pretty simple. I'll show you all the formations that you can go through. Yeah, 4-3-3 holding, 4-2-2, 4-1-2-1-2, 3-1-4-2, 3-4-1-2, 3-4-2-1, 3-4-3, 3-5-2, 5-2-1-2, 5-2-3, 5-3-2, 5-4-1, 4-2-1-3. So various formations added. Build up style, you got the counter, the balance, the short passing. Yeah, pretty simple. And you've got the defensive approach. So you can either be on aggressive, you can be on high, riskier approach to defending, applying situational pressure and adopting a high line. So this is where you adjust your defense line basically. Yeah, so you could have it deep, which is basically parking the bus without the ball, and then you could do it with the ball as well. So if you use the right analog stick, you can do without the ball, and you can edit it with the ball, how the players will react. Player roles, again, we've got the new player roles now on FIFA, so you can set strikers to target forward, false 9, poacher, advanced forward. Yeah, you can view all the roles and you can see what that role does and what it focuses on, which is pretty good. Again, just a little idea of how it's like. And obviously you've got focus, you can put on complete, attack, complete or attack. And then obviously you can save your changes. So I won't trouble that now, but there we go. For wingers, you've got inside forward, winger, wide playmaker, inside forward, and obviously balanced or attack. For midfielders, you've got box to box playmaker, half winger, holding, the deep line playmaker. Box to box is basically the right one for Enzo, and it will show you the plus. When you see the plus, that means that player is familiar with that role. If you don't see the plus, then obviously they're not familiar with that role and they won't perform to their best. For Cole Palmer, like now, this wouldn't be his best position. I'd have to move him over to the right. But you can see it does move them as well. When you do that, it does move their position. So they would be, you could adjust that formation like this. So see, there we go. All right. And for defenders, you got holding, deep, lying, playmaker, central half, and that's about it. you've got defend or roaming. Defend means they just focus on defending. Roaming means they will move across the width of the pitch to close past in lanes. So a lot added now. For right backs, you've got false back, you've got attacking wing back, which will push them up. You've got full back, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And you can focus on balanced is pretty much the same. If you go on false back, then you got balanced and defend. If you go on attacking wing back, you got attack or you got balance. So just like how Chelsea were playing Reece James in the season where he was going great, scoring goals from the wing back position with Thomas Tuchel, it's the same thing here that you could adjust that. Yeah, for our centre backs, we got stopper, ball playing defender, and we can. If you go ball playing defender, then you could go build up, which obviously that defender that defender more of a holding defensive midfielder. Yeah, he'll play more of a holding defensive midfield player, just like Stones at one point for Man City. Yeah. And goalkeeper, you can either put him to defend or focus, and he can be a sweeper keeper or a normal goalkeeper. So a lot for tactics, a lot to go through. I will be making a more advanced video for you guys on these actual features, but this is just a walkthrough for now, and then we're going to have separate tutorials. So there we go, we'll save it. You guys can go through roles. Roles is still pretty much the same. You can set more than one team sheet if you want as well. You can create a new team sheet. That's nothing new. We'll go over to transfers. Again, the scouting report. We can see the scouting report from here. And we can also see our scouts from here as well. So if you wanted to hire a scout, you can see your scout right here. There we go. It's as simple as that. And now we can scout and send players to South America, North America, Europe, yeah, Central Europe. You've got all these countries. Southern Europe, you got all these countries. Northern Europe, you got all these countries. And Romania and Asia, Southern Asia, India, Eastern Asia, you got China, Republic of Korea, Western Asia, Turkey, Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and lastly, you've got Australia, which is the last country you can scout. Academy, you can now play youth tournaments. I'll show you some content of me playing. Saeed! We got it. Yes! Beautiful. For youth tournaments, but there you go. You can see your youth players. You can change a youth player if you want. Obviously, it's 5v5. So, yeah. Pretty simple. You can see the stats of your players as well. You can change kits. Youth staff, scouts, again, same thing. We could hire our youth staff, and then you can send them wherever you want to send them. Again, you can send them to Africa, Central Africa. Look how many countries you can now send players to. Southern Africa, Northern Africa. You've got Eastern Africa. Look at that. Kenya, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Western Africa. So you can make loads of career modes now where you actually go for the players that you want. Yeah. New Zealand, you got Guinea, you got Fiji, Solomon Islands, like loads of places. Asia, again, we went through a lot of these already, but even more countries for the youth players now. So it's not just the usual players that you were getting before. You see that, guys? A lot more choices now. Israel, Middle East, Iraq, Lebanon, Qatar, Iran, lots more places you can scout now. Europe, again, look at that. More places you can scout now, guys. Norway, yeah. Southern, Malta, San Marino. So for you guys that love to make these career modes where you got stories, you got loads of choices now. Yeah. So that's the walkthrough for, look, Cuba's there. Yeah. Jamaica's there as well. Look at that. Yeah. You guys, come on, man. We have so many choices now in this career mode. Like, the career modes can't get boring now. And then obviously youth developments where you can go and set them on the right plans. And here's a quick tip always pick the length that is shorter. So level up in 22 weeks or 21 weeks. I would pick that one and take them off the balance. If you want to work on everything in general, then you could put it on balance, but I don't tend to do that. The player grows quicker if you put it on the one that is shorter. So 23 weeks is the shortest, and you could choose between the two what one you really want. So that's it. That's the Youth Academy. And we go to the office. In the office now, you can see your objectives. Pretty simple. And you can also see your standings, so where you are in the Premier League. They have up, or whatever league you are in, they have updated the fixtures on the left, and also the actual league as well. The league table looks different. You can change months as well. And yeah, you can pick a competition. So let's say we wanted to see the Champions League. So there we go. We can see the new Champions League format. Look at that. 36 teams. Yeah. So there we go. And let's have a look at it for the Europa League. There we go. Again, the new format for the Europa 36 calendar. Could go through the calendar and see how many games we got. And obviously our competition that we're in is the UEFA Conference League. So that's it. And oh, a nice feature as well that they've added. Look, we can actually see the months at the top of the calendar now. And we can go all the way to June. So it's a lot easier to see things now as well. We can go through our budget as well, and we can see how much money we've got. The budget, 143 million. Yeah. My career, you can look in here and see everything about the career, which is not something new. I wish they put trophies in there as well, so we could see trophies. Now, a job search, you can actually search, see any jobs, or you can international, you can see your international jobs there. Player stats, I wish you could search for jobs and then apply without actually seeing jobs appear as well. Player stats, again, pretty simple. You can see it for the league, looks very different. And team stats, let's have a look at team stats. So for Arsenal, you can see the Arsenal team here. If we click, we can see the player. We can see how many goals, clean sheets. Yeah, pretty simple. Other leagues we could go to as well. And customize, we can go customize our manager as usual, changing his kit, whatever he's wearing, his outfit. And then save, and that's it. So that's the new career mode, the things that they've added. And also we've got the new social media on the right, which you've got transfer window, you've got news that goes on for the game, and basically just information on what's going on. Fabrizio Romano is also in the game now as well. So whenever you make a signing or a team makes a signing, you see him pop up. Here we go, such and such a sign, you know. So it adds a bit of realism to the game. Overall, I'm going to give this FIFA, for visual looks so far, I'm going to give it an 8.5. I think this is the most advanced I've seen the career mode in many years. They've added back some of the features such as walkout during your matches. So they originally took it away because they thought people were getting bored of it, but it's part of football. Overall, the game looks new. It feels a bit like FC24, but to be honest, they have implemented some new things. So it is an improvement. It is an upgrade for career mode. We can do a lot more now. That's what we've asked for. So I wouldn't start complaining immediately. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. If you guys need any more career mode tutorials or walkthroughs, let me know in the comment section, and I'll make a video for you guys. Make sure you smash that like button. And if you want to see more, subscribe and turn on bell notifications. It's King YM. Like a candle, I'm out.